Welcome to The Explainer. A lot of us live in a democracy, but have you ever stopped to think about it? Is it actually the best system out there, or is it, well, kind of broken?
All right, to get us started, let's look at this quote from Winston Churchill. It's a bit of a head-scratcher, isn't it? Democracy is the worst form of government, and then he immediately follows it up with, except for all those other forms. So what's he getting at? To figure that out, we've got to look at what those other forms actually are.
So, first up, let's talk about one of the oldest games in town, monarchy. I mean, where do kings come from anyway? Do they just appear?
Okay, picture this. There are two tribes, right? The red team and the blue team. Now let's say you're part of the red team. And the blue team, well, they're a real problem. They're always raiding your village, taking your stuff. It's a mess. You need someone to protect you.
And then along comes a guy, we'll call him Big Mike. He's tough, he's a great fighter, and he starts protecting the community. But this kind of service isn't free. Pretty soon, everyone's chipping in to pay him. He becomes so important, so essential, that eventually they just say, all right, you're the boss. They make him King Mike. And the really crucial part, when he's gone, his son takes over. And boom, just like that, you've got a dynasty. It all starts with a simple trade-off, your freedom for their security.
All right, so that's one way to do it, but let's look at another alternative, one that really cranks the single ruler idea up to 11.
We're talking about a dictatorship. Here, all the power is concentrated in the hands of one person, or maybe one tiny group. And unlike a king, who usually gets the job through their bloodline, a dictator often grabs power through force and then holds on to it for dear life. The whole idea is often summed up as one country, one nation, one leader. Think about what that really means. There's zero room for disagreement. No opposition parties, no heated debates. What the leader says goes, period. They're accountable to absolutely no one. It's all about total control.
And this right here is the absolute key difference, isn't it? It all boils down to one question. Where does the power come from? In a democracy, power is supposed to flow up from us, the people. But in a dictatorship, it flows down from the top. And that one simple fact changes everything. Who keeps the leaders in check, whether you have any individual rights, the whole shebang.
So we've got monarchy, dictatorship, democracy. It's a lot to keep track of. But luckily for us, a guy way back in ancient Greece already did the heavy lifting. The philosopher Aristotle came up with a really clever way to sort all this out. His whole system is based on just two simple questions. First, who's in charge? Is it one person, a small group, or everybody? And second, and this is the really important one, are they ruling for the common good, or are they just in it for themselves?
And when you use those two questions, you get this amazing chart. Check it out. If one person rules for the common good, that's a monarchy. But if that one person rules for their own selfish interests, that's tyranny, or what we call a dictatorship. Okay, now here's the shocker. Look at the bottom row. For Aristotle, when the many rule for the common good, he called that a polity. But what did he call the corrupt form, where the masses rule based on self-interest or mob mentality? He called it democracy.
Yeah, you heard that right. And suddenly, that Churchill quote makes a little more sense, doesn't it? Why would both Churchill and a genius like Aristotle basically call democracy the worst?
Well, the list of complaints is actually pretty long. For one thing, democracies can be incredibly slow. All that debating and compromising, it can lead to total gridlock. These systems can also slice society into angry, opposing teams. And they can be a perfect breeding ground for populist leaders who are great at firing people up, but not so great on, facts and long-term plans.
There's actually a name for this inefficiency. Some people call it the democracy tax. It's the price we pay for things like representation and checks and balances. Sure, a dictator might be able to get a bridge built in a week, no questions asked. But in a democracy, you've got to have environmental reviews, public hearings, budget debates, and that takes time. It's a tax on speed.
On top of all that, even the word democracy is kind of slippery. I mean, think about it. Lots of countries that we call full democracies today spent a huge chunk of their history preventing massive groups of people, like women or racial minorities, from even voting. So were they really a democracy back then?
The definition gets complicated really fast.
And get this, in the 2019 national elections, voter turnout in India, which is often classified as a flawed democracy, was 67.4%. And in the United Kingdom, a full democracy, it was 67.55%. They're practically identical. It just goes to show you that these neat little labels we use, they don't always capture what's really going on.
Okay, so let's recap. Democracy is slow, it's messy, it can be divisive. So why on earth did Churchill stick up for it? What is its secret weapon? What makes it better than all the rest?
Well, if there's a democracy tax, there's also a democracy subsidy. And this is the payoff. What we get back is incredible long-term stability. And this one, absolutely crucial superpower. The ability to fix our own mistakes without burning the whole house down.
And this really might be the whole ballgame. Think about it. If you've got a terrible king or a brutal dictator, what are your options for getting rid of them? It's almost always bloodshed and revolution. But a democracy? It has a release valve built right into the system. It's called an election. If you don't like the people in charge, you can just vote them out. No violence required.
And just like that, we're back where we started, with Churchill's quote. And now, it makes perfect sense, right? He's not insulting democracy, he's given it the most honest defense possible. He's looking at all its problems, the gridlock, the infighting, the inefficiency, and he's admitting, yeah, it's not great.
But then he adds the killer line. It's the worst form of government, except for everything else we've ever tried. It's not about being perfect. It's about being the least terrible option on the table. Its real strength isn't that it always gets things right. It's that it has a way to recover when it gets things wrong.
And so that leaves us with one last big question, especially for the world we live in today. With all the huge, fast-moving problems we're facing, is democracy's slowness, that democracy tax, a feature that protects us from making huge mistakes? Or is it a bug that's preventing us from making any progress at all? A lot to chew on there.